All right, fun time. This is something everyone can relate to. Absolutely, positively, everyone. Because you all simp to women on Twitch. We know it. That's why we know there's 4 of you who simp to us on Twitch. Okay?
Wait, but we're not women.
Oh, right. Maybe I should have reconsidered my intro. Did you hear that OBS and StreamLabs are having an oopsie that I had no idea even existed? And it almost makes me want to rescind some slightly positive things I've said about StreamLabs. Situation is really complicated, and as someone who only cursory knows stuff about trademark law, by cursory I mean looked it up on Wikipedia for 5 seconds and skimmed an article.
So about what most people do.
About what most people know about.
Maybe actually a little bit more.
StreamLabs is taking advantage of the fact that OBS is incredibly popular because they include OBS in the name, right? And OBS is making the claim that StreamLabs is taking their name and actually took over the trademark for OBS, the property.
Okay, that's scummy.
Does that surprise you, though?
Because I mean, I guess a little bit, because like it's seldom in the open source community that generally tries to play nice with each other, because we all kind of feel oppressed together. It kind of feels unusual for one company to try to directly step on the other ones. Usually you do it in a more roundabout way. So like, I don't know, Mint, you could make the argument is just appropriating Ubuntu. But they kind of have their pouting match, and Mint has like never made a claim on that they were Ubuntu or something, and we're just all kind of happy and copacetic with it, and that's just how open source works. But I mean, I guess an equivalent situation would be like if Linux Mint just decided to say, yeah, you know, we've had used Ubuntu's kernel for long enough. We basically are Ubuntu, and so we're going to call ourselves Ubuntu Mint. And there's nothing that the Canonical Corporation can do about it.
Naturally, because this is OBS posting it on Twitter, they harnessed the power of 100,000 people to go and crucify people on the internet, because everyone knows that we need to crucify everyone that does something wrong. Now, and granted, OBS is... I mean, I don't blame OBS because StreamLabs did a big oopsie. I want to talk about something that no one is talking about the situation. And this is... let me talk about some of the other stuff. So, like, I think... What's her name? What's that girl that everyone simps to on Twitch? What's her name? She's on StreamLabs' website.
Delphi... That one?
No.
When you say someone's simping to someone, that's the first person that comes to mind. But that is the extent.
I looked it up in another. It's Pokimane. She said that she would cut off herself from StreamLabs if they did not rectify their situation. Everyone who's anyone on the internet has to say, get out their Twitter hot takes. They have to get angry and say stuff. And then OBS is not the only one who has said StreamLabs stole something from them. There's a gaming service for apparently consoles called Lightstream. They have the check mark on Twitter. That must mean they're real. And they show here a very interesting screenshot where they do a cross compare with their website, right on their website, and StreamLabs' website. And if you look at the wording of these things here, it is they look awfully similar, don't you think? You know, just a little bit. You know, maybe right down to replacing an individual text to say sort of the same thing.
It looks like someone updated their webpage. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like, oh yeah, we changed our font. It looks like they stole the CSS formatting and just applied their own filters to it.
Oh, they stole the text too. It's great. It's great.
Oh yeah.
And then so of course, because we got a dog pile on people, everybody bad. That's how social media works. Everyone is evil. But I want to talk about something for a second. What StreamLabs did is pretty awful and terrible. I would say OBS is not innocent in this situation either.
Why? Because they didn't defend their trademark?
Well, first off, let me let's start with the trademark thing, right? I had no idea that OBS was not related to StreamLabs. I assumed they were sister projects, kind of like the eBay, like Venmo is the eBay, you know? I had no idea. Well, how come no one has ever clarified this before now?
I guess I've assumed they were just a fork of like another popular fork of OBS, the same way that, again, like the same way that Mint is a popular fork of Debian, or a popular fork of Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is a popular fork of Debian. Like I've assumed it just follows those sort of you know, that sort of thing that we kind of do in the open source community. So have they actually filed a lawsuit at this point?
I mean, they can't, because technically what they're doing does not violate the GPL. If they were violating the GPL, they could file a lawsuit. But can I get to the second point why OBS is not quite so innocent in the situation as a whole? Did you know OBS has a LLC entitled Wizards of OBS LLC? You're like, wow, that's a ridiculous name. Okay, so we have the trademark for the word OBS, right? This is just the word OBS, right? And look up, pay attention here to the status listed here. 602, abandoned, failure to respond, or late response. And it says here it expired April 5th, 2021.
Yeah, that feels scummy.
But here's the thing, though. Let's get to the funny part. Did you know that StreamLabs is an LLC too? General Workings Incorporated. So this is, you'll see here they have their trademark from 2017, right? But then look at, let's take a look at StreamLabs, what's it, SLOBS, which is their new release. Yeah, it is SLOBS. Pay attention to when SLOBS was fired, right? Was put up. It's SLOBS, contains OBS in the name. Now, this is important because this is the case that OBS is trying to make to other people. Then you scroll down here, status date. When was this put out? September 10th, 2021. Which means that OBS failed to reacquire their trademark, or at the very least did not respond to the loss of their trademark for 5 months.
Yeah, that's because no reasonable person, I mean, kind of like, I mean, I guess this is kind of a thing in like the tech community in general. We use something like latex that clearly is spelled latex, and yeah, it's not latex, it's LaTeX. It's LaTeX. Greek. It's not mate. It's mate. It's not gnome. It's gnome. It's not what are the other, but the list goes on and on.
I'm getting to the root of our name here, why tech news is stupid. Okay, it follows the media narrative pro tip that every news journalist would love to get you to believe, which isn't true. It's nothing is everyone's fault. Once you understand that nothing is everyone's fault, it's like everyone's like, oh, StreamLabs, you're so bad. Yeah, I hate StreamLabs as much as everybody else. But I don't think OBS is equally is off the hook here. I think they should be held accountable. Like, come on, guys. You had 5 months. It's ridiculous.
Isn't there, like, if you are attempting to acquire the trademark that would infringe on someone else's trademark, isn't there like a legal requirement that you have to inform them that you're stepping on their trademark?
Well, that's how they knew. So, that's how.
Yeah, but after they lost their trademark, they learned that
they had to have been alerted. Why wouldn't they have been alerted? In fact, I'll say this right now.
So does that mean OBS is like okay with it?
Well, let me say something that's a little bit more personal to me. I know people who have started, like, you know, homegrown businesses, right? A few of our clients run homegrown businesses, right? And one of the things you have to do, I've heard from them, what you do with homegrown businesses is you have to pay a LLC fee every year. And before the people who come out and say, well, OBS could have afforded it, in most states, it costs usually around $2,500 to pay for an LLC. And if OBS is currently paying for, of all things, to name your LLC, Wizards of OBS LLC.
I mean, if you accept donations, does that, if you only accept donations, doesn't that put you in the category of a charity?
No, there are like YouTubers and Twitch streamers who
I mean, I guess
LLCs
yeah, you're right.
to put their earnings.
Because, like, I mean, I guess a Twitch streamer is, quote, only accepting donations, and they're not a charity.
Oh, and whatever money Twitch gives them, but, you know, still.
Yeah, but I mean, like assuming you were refusing that, a Twitch streamer that has like thousands of subs can't like say, "Oh, I'm a charity."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can, and like, and you know, we just need to like rewrite the rule book. But I don't think anyone's claimed that as of yet.
Yeah. Yeah. This is. I want to take this time to highlight problem. This is, and I want to say too. As much as I want to say, I want to just get off of my rocker and preach to the 2 people watching this video, which are probably you two, that are watching, that watch this video. I want to say that as much as I want to bash these people, this is not the first time this has actually happened. Something like this has happened this year. You're like, well, what do you mean by that? What if everyone is aware of our former president's social media network, right? He calls it Truth Social. Probably heard the name get thrown around, right? Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
no,
this
so.
thing.
Right?
Yep.
Do you want to know something interesting of what happened to Truth Social? Truth Social is a reskin of Mastodon.
Yeah, but like, isn't that a thing you can do with Mastodon?
Actually,
you're the one who runs our Mastodon. I have little knowledge of the Mastodon.
Let me explain why this actually doesn't. This is a situation which happened this year, which, unlike OBS's, does violate the GPL. And this is why I said I thought we would never cover this, but I do want to cover this. This instance of Truth Social is actually a thing which violates the GPL, because one of the requirements of something to comply with the GPL is it must be open source. Truth Social is proprietary and does not claim to be open source or use a GPL license. They use a proprietary license.
Yeah, in order to use the GPL3 license, don't all the derivative software that you make with GPL3 need to also...
They must also be open. And as a result, the owner of the Mastodon trademark has actually sued whatever the company that... shell company, the 45th president of the United States made that owns Truth Social. And they will probably win, because this is, you know, come on, guys. All you had to do was make it open source. But nope, they won't even do that. In fact, they're doubling down and they won't even admit it.
What would be interesting is, I think what's more interesting about it is why don't they want to make it open source? If all they've done is they have a reskin of Mastodon, then I think a lot of people would just go, okay, you know, whatever. You know, this is what I was told to use, so I'm going to use this, and people would have just been fine with it. So what kind of nasty little things did they add to that platform in order to want to not publish its source code?
But what if it was someone who just wanted
to...
But let me pitch this too, and I want to play before someone says I'm getting political. I want to play both sides here, right? Because as someone who is actively in this position of someone who has to maintain a website for a company, what does this look like? Let me say, as someone who, when I say maintains a website, I mean pays a company to do it because you don't have time to do it because you don't have enough people. So, and that's point number one. They probably paid someone to do this, who, you know, who does it for them. Whatever company they were, probably wasn't involved doing this. They might have paid someone off to do this, because something tells me Donald Trump can't code a website. Just just a little bit.
So they hired will
Third
code your
party.
website for you,
third party
incorporate it.
A to make website for them, right? And because they need to get it up as quickly as possible to compete with other social media networks, you know, they probably like, oh, what's something that's off the shelf so we don't have to rewrite anything? Why don't we do this thing? Okay. Because notice, if this was done October 21st, we are still not past a 30-day timeline. So they're not going to retaliate until the 30-day timeline has passed. We are not past the 30-day timeline yet.
How long does it take you to so I could make a GitHub account in probably a minute. I could make a properly vetted corporate whatever GitHub account in like a week. And then to post something to that GitHub account would take me a couple minutes. If people had done the things that they were supposed to do, it would already be done by now and we wouldn't be talking about it. And so again, this is something where there is reticence for people wanting to or for the corporation to want to post their source code.
I'm just saying, we don't know. There's a lot we don't know.
I know, but that's the thing. If it's a carbon copy, it would already be up by now. If it was a carbon copy, it would already be up by now. So what is it that they have that is different that makes them not want to show it to us? That's the reason why it turned into a story.
Well,
Because
can I bring this full circle? This is just what the two situations that I just presented here. The situation between StreamLabs and the situation of Truth Social is proof that, one, a lot of people do not have education about software licenses. Number two, there's a lot we don't know about these situations.
I mean, to be fair, there's a reason why whenever you like get sued or something, the first thing you need to do is get a lawyer, because
which they technically did not, because we are not past the 30-day timeline yet. Same thing of OBS. Legally, they have required to follow the terms of the GPL, so we can't retaliate. So we haven't started yet.
The reason why you have to do that is because law is so dang complicated. You literally need a PhD in order to understand it. And so I understand why most people don't have an understanding of copyright law and of license laws, because frankly, it's absurd. It's over the heads of most individuals' understanding, and a lot of it just doesn't apply to you as the end user. So, you know, if I look at Tesla and I say, oh, well, you know, Tesla doesn't look like they're doing like they're adhering to their GPL license. Well, what can I do about it? I can, like, I guess maybe alert the GPL corporation. See, like, I'd have to know that there was a corporation that I could go to complain to in the first place and know that those rules even applied. And again, I've never even read any of the GPLs. And if I did, I probably wouldn't understand them. And so the only thing that I know about them is what I've been told about them, which may not be how they actually function in the real world.
All right, that's a wrap, everybody. Say your wishes and prayers in the comments. Tell us, what do you think about OBS and StreamLabs? Tell us how bad they both are and how we need to follow the mainstream narrative more.